What is up, guys? JaretCampisi coming back at you with another track and field video. Today we're at Santa Barbara Running in Santa Barbara. They were kind enough to let us film a little video on track and field spikes. This is a highly requested video and we've got a couple of different options in here. So we're going to take you through the different options, explain what you guys should be looking for in a track spike. So stay tuned. Alright, so if you don't know what running spikes are, I'm just going to show you an example. So it's basically a shoe that's designed specifically for running on a track, for sprinting, hurdling, jumping, mid-distance events, okay? So it's basically, very minimal design. It has, a hard spike bottom, or plastic bottom that has like areas for tons of track spikes. Most of them have a little bit of a heel. This is a complete sprint spike right here, and then you have different types from there. We'll just go into the different types. So this is a sprint spike. This is like a straight up sprinter spike. This is for basically 100, 200. You could even maybe use this for the 400 if you're like a more sprint oriented runner. If you see the way that this is gonna put you on your toes, I'll show you right here. This is designed for your foot to be in this position, okay? That's where the spike is designed to be, all right? And so it doesn't have a lot of heel support, doesn't have a lot of support in general. This spike plate is really more of a power runner spike plate. This is something I used to use when I was running the 100, the 200, even the 100 hurdles, or like the 4x1, something like that. So this is a sprint spike, all right? So there's a difference between a sprint spike and then more of a, I would say this is more of like a hurdler spike for the 300 hurdles, 400 hurdles, even the 400. So this is something I would use for the 400. It's a little more flexible. So see how this one doesn't have a lot of flex, like at all. It's very stiff, okay? This one allows for a little more flexibility, okay? And also it's got a little bit of heel support. So this would be a great spike for, like I said, 300 hurdles, 400 hurdles, even the 400. You could maybe even run an 800 in this if you're more of a sprint type 800 meter runner. I wouldn't really recommend doing like long jump in this, or maybe you could sprint in this, but it's gonna give away if you're really taking powerful steps. You really want that hard spike plate from the like straight up sprint spike. From there you move on to your like distance to mid distance spike. So now they're gonna have heels. If you're doing any sort of like triple jumping or like even some long distance hurdling, you do want a heel for your spikes. This is more of a mid distance spike, I would say 800 meter and up, maybe the mile, even 2 mile, steeplechase, stuff like that. You can see there aren't even as many spikes here, just a couple spikes. The spike plate's a lot more forgiving. This one actually has padding here, okay? And again, this one has a lot more flex. So you're gonna be heel striking in these kind of events. And so you wanna have that flexibility with your spike there like that, so. Oh man, look at those. So that's basically the different types of spikes. You have your straight up sprint spikes. You've got your event specific spikes. Like there are spikes that are just made for long jump, just made for triple jump, for high jump, stuff like that. And then you've got your like 400 meter spike. They're usually a little bit more flexible. And then you've got your mid distance to long distance spikes. So if you're local in the area, you can come down to Santa Barbara Running, check out what they have to offer. If not, you can always just go online, just Google whatever you're after. If you're a long jumper, just Google long jump track spikes and you'll find a ton of different options. If you're a hurdler, type in 110 hurdle spikes, which is usually going to be sprinting spikes. And then, well, yeah, whatever your event is, just type it in and look for it. As far as sizing goes, you want them to be tight, but not too tight. So you might want to try stuff on if you can, or maybe order a couple sizes. I was a 10.5 in my running shoes, and I think I normally wore a 10.5 in my spikes as well. So it's something you just have to play around with. It's all personal preference. Another thing is, people want to run in their spikes all the time. They're really just for when you're performing high intense movements. So, when you're doing your technical work, when you're doing your sprint day technique stuff, that's when you want to wear your spikes. Don't be wearing them all throughout the year. These are not made for wearing all the time. You will start to get pain in the bottoms of your feet, throughout your feet, your heels, right? Shin splints. So, that's not really what they're for. They're for like doing your high intensity stuff and then getting out of them and getting back into your racing flats, or your just normal shoes. So I think that's about it when it comes to running spikes. I hope that was helpful for you guys. If you have questions or comments, leave them in the comment box below, and I'll put some more information in the description box as well. So I hope that was helpful, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
It's crazy sometimes thinking you can own a piece of the world. It's just floating